And our reading today is from Proverbs 25 from the Amplified Version. So these are also the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. It is a glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the hearts and minds of kings are unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there comes out the pure metal for a vessel, for a silversmith to shape. Take away the wicked from the king, from before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not be boastfully ambitious and claim honor in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the place of great men, for it is better that it be said to you, "Come up here," than for you to be placed lower in the presence of the prince, whom your eyes have seen. Do not rush out to argue your case before magistrates or judges. Otherwise, what will you do in the end when your case is lost? When your neighbor or opponent humiliates you? Argue your case with your neighbor himself before you go to court, and do not reveal another's secret, or he who hears it will shame you. And the rumor about you and your action in court will not have an end. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken at the right time. Like an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold is a wise reprover to an ear that listens and learns. Like the cold of snow brought from the mountains is the time of harvest. So is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the life of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts falsely of gifts he does not give. By patience and a calm spirit a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft and gentle tongue breaks the bone of resistance. Have you found pleasure sweet like honey? Eat only as much as you need. Otherwise, being filled excessively, you vomit it. Let your foot seldom be in your neighbor's house, or he will become tired of you and hate you. Like a club and a sword and a piercing arrow is the man who testifies falsely against his neighbor. Like a broken tooth or an unsteady foot is confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble. Like one who takes off a garment in cold weather, or like a reactive useless mixture of vinegar and soda, is he who thoughtlessly sings joyful songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For in doing so, you will heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and the backbiting tongue an angry countenance. It is better to live in a corner of the housetop, on the flat roof exposed to the weather, than in a house shared with a quarrelsome, contentious woman. Like cold thirst water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a distant land. Like a muddified mountain in a polluted spring is a righteous man who yields and compromises in integrity before the wicked. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. Like a city that is broken down and without walls, leaving it unprotected, is the man who has no self-control over his spirit and sets himself up for trouble.
Verse 2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. We've made it to Proverbs 25, an exciting milestone in our 25th day of casting off foolishness and embracing the wisdom of the scriptures. Let's delve into the lessons that Holy Week can teach us in relation to this proverb. Just as God masterfully conceals and reveals matters, Holy Week brings forward the unveiling of God's redemptive plan. Jesus, the King of Kings, unveiled the enigma of salvation through his selfless sacrifice and resurrection. As Holy Week unfolded, Jesus graced Jerusalem with his presence, shrouding the true purpose of his mission under praise and adoration. Yet, through his actions that followed, he unfolded the plan of salvation to the world. Verse 6. Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence and do not claim a place among his great men. Lesson. Humility is a central theme in Jesus' teachings and actions. He demonstrated humility even in the face of authority, setting an example for his followers to emulate. During Holy Week, Jesus humbly washed his disciples' feet, exemplifying servanthood and humility. He taught that true greatness comes from serving others and submitting to God's will. Verse 13. Like the coolness of snow at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the spirit of his masters. Lesson. Trustworthiness and reliability are essential qualities for messengers and disciples of Christ. They bring refreshment and comfort to those who send them, just as Jesus brought the message of salvation and hope to humanity. During Holy Week, Jesus faithfully carried out his Father's will, even unto death on the cross. His obedience and sacrifice brought spiritual refreshment and redemption to all who believe in him. Verse 17, 18. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, too much of you, and they will hate you. Like a club or a sword or a sharp arrow is one who gives false testimony against a neighbor. The essence of these verses lies in underlining the significance of discretion and integrity in relationships. False testimony and intrusive behavior can fracture trust and stir up discord. During Holy Week, false accusations and betrayal led to Jesus' crucifixion. Yet his integrity and love for humanity triumphed in the end, facilitating reconciliation between God. And please take a moment to share this video with your friends and family and spread this blessing of engaging with God's wisdom amongst your loved ones. Verse 21, if your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. Lesson. Jesus taught love and forgiveness even towards enemies. He demonstrated this on the cross by praying for those who crucified him. During Holy Week, Jesus exemplified this principle by interceding for humanity while enduring excruciating pain on the cross. His sacrificial love reconciles enemies to God and each other. Proverbs 25 offers timeless wisdom applicable to various aspects of life, including humility, trustworthiness, integrity, and forgiveness. Through an analogy with Holy Week and Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, we gain deeper insights into the redemptive nature of Christ's sacrifice and the transformative power of his teachings in our lives.